All right, so I'm gonna be frank. If you were here for the last upload, it was outrageous. That will never happen again. And completely my fault. It was my fault for even letting that hit the channel. Now, if you weren't here for that, just know that it was a complete travesty and you're lucky you weren't witness to it. So with that, we got a more structured, better upload with the classic casual quality, just in time for the new year. This is for you all. That said, welcome to the state where we discuss, disseminate, and debate the fashion industry and the culture around it. I'm Reggie Casual, and these are the menswear trends that define 2024 and the brands that will take it further in 2025, or at least adopted it, and we'll take it into 2025. Anyway, let's get it. As you know, I don't put too much stock into trends, mainly because I believe most of them are just stuff that goes around and comes back around. However, it's important to note many of them determine where the trajectory of fashion is headed because you will be forced to contend with every damn outlet selling you similar stuff, nearly forcing you to buy it, unless you are savvy. Of course, if you're savvy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So we're gonna take a look at glamour.com that outlines a few. And I'm gonna give you my take, and then I'll give you my list of labels that are either invoking these trends or exploiting it. So the first up that glamour.com gives us is denim on denim. Glamour.com states, once regarded as a fashion faux pas, the Texas tuxedo has never been cooler than it is right now. Prada, Valentino, Ami, and Officine Generale, among many other labels, all showed denim on denim looks for fall, and it's already made the leap into the real world on some of Fashion Month's most stylish attendees. While we're all for mixing washes, the key to nailing 2024's take on the trend is matching tops to bottoms as closely as possible. These matching pairs are a great place to start and fit the overarching Americana vibe of the season too. So yes, denim on denim may have been a thing in the upper echelon circles of the runway, but denim in general has experienced its predicted resurgence. If the amount of denim content creators hasn't been indication enough, yeah, you might have noticed it. That said, I actually feel bad for the dudes out there who take the time to study denim and the labels because they know far more than what the industry is delivering. Yeah, the trend is locked in, it's cooked. But my advice, don't follow the flock. Listen to the guys who've been studying it for a long time. I mean, I'd hate for you to buy Valentino denim, knowing Full Count, Oni, Samurai, and the Flathead, among others, exist. Next up, we have Ivy League or the return of Prep. Either one, you can go with either one of those. So this has been a long time coming. And for the industry, it's just a clear indication that it's shifting towards what dudes actually wear. Ivy styles in 2024 took on a noticeably disheveled look in some aspect and smart looks in others, but for the most part, it's just regular stuff, which is quite hilarious when you think about it. As many of you know, luxury fashion has been flummoxed by people retreating to this kind of stuff. And they're just not plain buying the luxury version of it. Now, before I continue, check out this fact. I found this really hilarious, but this fact right here just sums it all up. LVMH was dethroned as Europe's most valuable company last September as GLP-1 drug Ozempic and Wegovy producer Novo Nordisk overtook the spot with a $424.7 billion market cap. Today, Novo Nordisk is valued at $461 billion, while LVMH is at $375 billion. In the past months, the luxury sector has lost $200 billion in value, with LVMH taking the biggest hit, according to Reuters. I mean, that should tell you everything about the state of the luxury fashion industry right now. It turns out people would rather look like twigs than spend money on luxury that hides their personal misgivings. Funny that. That all said, fashion as a result has retreated into territory that's more familiar, and this Ivy League prep style is a prime example. Problem is, most of you all can do it without luxury pricing. It still made waves, likely only because it was far more accessible and, quite frankly, normal. Anyway, the next trend to look at is brown suede. Now, as Glamour puts it, rich, Chocolate-colored suede, no diddy, is the accent material of the season in the form of jackets, bags, and fall shoes. The soft leather projects a sense of high luxury ease, even if you end up dropping much less than the price of a Louis Vuitton blazer on your own suede piece. Dark brown pairs well with black, denim, blue, and gray. The real challenge here is taking the proper steps to protect your investment. Waterproofing and smart storage are essential. Of course they are. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's brown suede at all. I just think that it's brown in general, like the brown accent. It doesn't have to be suede. It all comes down to the Americana vibe that descended its way into fashion in a miasmic way. Brown is a perfect accent color to denim, and denim is in, so it makes sense that chocolate browns are making an impact. You saw it on LV when they tried to do the little cowboy core vibe. Tried to do something a little bit there, but you know, I still chuckle at it a bit, but this is still a case of you don't need luxury to do it. In fact, it's less authentic to do it with luxury or designer. And that's the theme of the culture right now. People at least want to feel what they're into is unfiltered and authentic, even if it isn't, which is nutso and another topic for another convo entirely. All right, so the next one is actually quite comical. This is the only reason why I have it in here. Not because of the style, but what the industry dubbed it. Coastal grandpa. Like, who coins these terms? First of all, that name sucks. And second of all, the term for this style already exists. And this is about time I go into my, let's call it Japanese fashion rant. What the industry has dubbed coastal grandpa is actually a style that's been done with a looser yet more tailored look. This style was mixed with amerikaji, i.e. American casual, to create what we now know as city boy. Not the best name either, but it invoked using mostly secondhand, looser, more voluminous, billowy silhouettes, which again, normal for Japanese because that's how they cut anyway. The clothes were often secondhand and were understated styles that allowed for customization from person to person, but the prevailing factor was that it was effortless, approachable, and made for everyday city traversal, i.e. city boy. It's a style you see every effing day in Japan, and it's not even hard to understand why. Now, let's take a look at what Glamour had to say. Do we love the term coastal grandpa? No. Then why did we use it anyway? But the TikTok trend, Jesus, it just keeps getting worse and worse. But anyway, the TikTok trend does speak to a very real movement in menswear towards vintage-inspired pieces that feel coastal and lived in. Think barn jackets, roll neck sweaters, and pleated khakis. The real secret here is expert layering. Tuck shirts beneath sweaters and belts, and let loafers poke out of baggy pants. What did I just say about City Boy? What did I just say about City Boy? I swear this is not confusing. It's not hard. City Boy, i.e. coastal grandpa, is another, anyone can do it, and already has done it, that it aggravates me. It's one of those, because it's not a trend. This is just a case of people who follow trends now wearing stuff people who don't follow trends wear. What if I'm being honest, that's always the case. It happens a lot. That said, this entered the TikTok space, so I had to mention it, just for the rant alone. It's not a thing where we need to call it a trend. Like, patterns can be trends. Like, certain silhouettes, I think, can be trends. But a style that's already there, that people already wear, that's clearly visible in certain spaces, you could have went to Japan, you would have saw this, you've been like, okay, that's just something that people wear, right? This is people who don't know. But yeah, those are the trend, that coastal grandpa. That's what they went with. Just remember that. All right, so we're gonna get to this last one. I had to put this one on here. Leopard print. Now, far be it from me to say, leopard print did make some headway in 2024, and I'm all for it in menswear if done responsibly. But I want to take this opportunity to make a point about boldness, because leopard print in menswear is a bold choice. However, it does open the door for experimentation. I know some people think classic menswear is boring, even Americana, boring. But I think that that's unfair. Not everything has to be ostentatious or new or inventive to be exciting. Fashion is about taking influence, combining and creating something unique through experimentation with something you know, right? Succinctly, the more we explore the nuances of classic menswear, Americana, workwear, whatever, the easier it is to apply bolder choices without doing that try-hard thing. This is why the use of leopard print is such an important trend, because it allows for more exploration without being excessive. Yes, leopard print has always existed, but it adds a layer of complexity. For instance, I may not dabble completely into classic Americana, but there are things I invoke because I honestly think it's kind of cool. That's the best way I can explain it. And I respect the hell out of it, as evidenced by my constant denim jacket collection. So leopard print is a great starting point. It's nothing new, of course we all know that, but it's a great door opener for sure, for experimentation. All right, so there are some brands that I want to outline that invoke some of these trends and style and became huge successes because of it. But before we do all that, a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. You've probably heard that Squarespace is one of the best places to build a website. If you've been here, I know you have. They have award-winning templates, backend analytics, a host of essential integrations, and phenomenal customer service, right? Well, let's go ahead and add to that. Squarespace now gives you the opportunity to build your own email templates, edit your future website on mobile, and now has a video app so you can make your site even more personal for visitors. And you're gonna wanna use all those because Squarespace's new members areas allow you to create communities, monetize, and give back to your most loyal followers and fans. And that's just the surface. By joining up, you can save 10% off of your website by using our link, squarespace.com/thecasual. So get started on that site and use Squarespace today. Okay, so first up, we got possibly the best brand of the year for upper tier essential menswear in the luxury designer space. I don't know. Anyway, it's one of the best. AURALEE. The Japanese label, AURALEE. AURALEE is quickly becoming the investment essential label. No annoying logos, expertly crafted pieces, and a largely tailored loose fit that speaks more on fabrication than boldness. Menswear has certainly entered into this investment piece stage of its life cycle, and AURALEE, being Japanese, hits a lot of marketable points. Basically, it has a story to tell, but all in all, it's clean and well made, adding to the overall, what I like to call, uniqloification of men's fashion, meaning a lot more stuff is becoming classic, essential, and let me put it together than, give me the style. And AURALEE does that in spades. Another Japanese label that dabbled in some of these trends is WACKOMARIA, the old guy street vibe label. Most of you know Wacko who know Japanese brands, and this year Wacko mixed suiting, blazers, and slacks with long coats, leather jackets, brown tones, and you guessed it, leopard prints and accents. Wacko has always been a great street transitional brand, made for individuals who still like the rebelliousness of classic streetwear, but made with more care and maturity in mind. To be clear, it isn't mature as in clean-cut guy, but mature as in I'm into what I'm into and no one's gonna stop me. That kind of mature. And it makes sense. The guy who runs it is like mid-50s and frankly is really into everything the brand represents. Mostly the music. So the brand is as authentic as it can be. Everybody who's around it, who's surrounded by it, who's involved in it, loves everything that the brand represents in every aspect. So if you want authenticity, you go no further than Wacko. All right, so next up we have the up-and-coming brand of the year, or at least in Japan, the Japanese up-and-coming brand, and that is PRESSE, or in Japanese, you say PRESSE. So we're gonna use that pronunciation because I know it. Anyway, if you remember that coastal grandpa thing that we were talking about, this is what I meant by Japan has been doing this kind of thing for years. PRESSE is just a manifestation of a style that has been a part of the Japanese fashion economy done in actual brand format, which means no more searching for the perfect pair of worn-in pants to go with your vintage-inspired looks. PRESSE will just make them for you. And before you're like, well, why not just buy vintage? First, that can be tough to do. Second, not all vintage is built the same. Third, you still have to jump through hoops to find the perfect stuff. perfect size, whatever. But most importantly, 4, Japanese reproduction skills are second to none. If you want a brand new vintage feeling garment, there is literally no place better than Japan to get that kind of piece. Plus, it's not dummy expensive, such is the case for many Japanese brands that do this kind of thing. That is, they remain quite small, offer high quality pieces. I mean, that trucker jacket in leather is definitely calling me, and that is one of their pricier pieces, but it's calling me. It really is. But my own wants notwithstanding, PRESSE is just phenomenal. Great effortless look and a great presentation that has been frankly missing from men's fashion for a while now. It's been there, but not put at the forefront. Anyway, to prevent my biases, I have my bias. I have 2 Western brands, and the first up is Cherry LA. So Cherry LA has a great presentation because it's fully committed to the Southwestern Americana cowboy vibe, mixing in some streetwear nods to make it even more approachable. There is a slight problem though. It's outrageously expensive for what it is. Now, as a marketing guy, I respect the vision. I really do. But as a fashion guy that knows other brands, I gotta be honest. The Flathead, Oni, Full Count, Hummingbird's Hill. Yes, Japanese labels, but they've been doing it far longer with a better reputation and at an extremely high quality and at a lower price tag. Sure, you're not gonna get the over-the-top trend vibe that Cherry is peddling out there. I repeat, its commitment is amazing, but my advice, if you like the Cherry LA vibe, just listen to the Japanese Americana guys who've been doing this kind of thing for years, reviewing these labels. They will key you into some stuff that's just amazing that you've probably never even heard about. So again, the presentation at Cherry LA is good, but there's some other options out there that you may like more. That's just me. And finally, MERZ be SCHWANEN, the epitome of the Uniqloification of men's fashion. Now, MERZ is where terms that high-end menswear enthusiasts love to hear are thrown around like fashion catnip, loop-wheeled, artisanal, heritage, double-knit weave. Basically all those words that make you think something is high quality. MERZ uses those, but for good reason. It is legit and has a pretty good reputation. It's basically the Uniqlo upgrade, a basics label that is far more involved and easy to wear. It isn't something you'd necessarily style with, it's something you invest and commit to for a better wardrobe, i.e. buying better, wearing longer. And it's doing incredibly well as a result. So if you're in the market for high quality basics, MERZ is a good choice and fits into that I'm just chill dude, I'm just chill dude, that chill dude vibe burgeoning in the West. And you chill, I'm just chill, man. I don't want any problems, man. Just want to wear my t-shirt and pants or sweats and just call it a day. If you're one of those, you're just unbothered by the climate, yeah, MERZ is there for you. If you care about like high quality basics. I'm not sure chill dudes care about high quality basics. Just put me in a shirt, man. It's a regular shirt, it's fine. Don't need anything else. But if you're one of those, but you'd like to have something more high quality, MERZ is there for you. All that said, I'd like to know your thoughts on the trends of 2024 and how and if they will influence 2025, or your thoughts on the list of brands or any others you think should have been covered or considered. Let it all be known in the comments. Do all that. Or you could do this as well. You can join us on Patreon to get access to overtime episodes and other extras. It helps a ton and keeps the lights on and puts us on the path to complete independence, which is a good thing. I'm looking forward to complete independence. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute. Hopefully this one was better.